Right, hello everybody, good evening, and yes, welcome to a very special show. I've drafted in the old mate Rhys Lloyd to tell us more about something very exciting happening at Blyton Park. It's the Dragon Sports Scholarship. Rhys, over to you, buddy. Tell us more because this is really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's going to be the second ever Dragon Sport Scholarship. Obviously, it was founded last year. Obviously, we've learned obviously a lot from last year. Jack Meakin obviously was our first winner from last year. The concept came
And he
about.
can drive, can't he? Can Jack?
Yeah, he can definitely drive. And like I said, it's good and bad because the this year's winner obviously has got a massive boost to fill in terms of following in Jack's footsteps. And ultimately, I feel like we've got as important a job in picking a good winner as we did last year, which obviously is always going to be difficult. But yeah, it's going to be Blyton Park. Obviously, it's the second ever Dragon Sports Scholarship. I'll give you a bit of background, obviously, about the scholarship and how it's come about then. So the prize obviously is to drive in the Britcar Championship for next year, which is a really cool series to be part of. Endurance racing obviously is my passion, and obviously it's in the Renault Clio Cup car. The prize obviously is drive alongside myself. The day at Blyton is obviously it's an evaluation day, so we've got Claire who does all our fitness and nutrition. She comes along and puts all the drivers through their paces on that side of things. Yeah, exactly. I don't think you'd get through, Ian. I think you'd fail in the middle. We've got obviously another media legend, Richard John Neal. He comes and does, absolute legend. And I've got so much respect for Richard as well in everything he's done, and the drivers do love him. So yeah, he comes and grills everyone, and it is quite. He's not afraid to ask the tough questions and the questions that maybe people don't want to ask or don't want to hear. So you need to be prepared for that, definitely. And then we've got the Sim Dynamic guys are coming this year, which is an addition. So we're going to have a simulator as well. So that was a nice little addition we've done. I think it's not the be all and end all of everything, but it's definitely part of the process these days for younger drivers coming through with the simulators.
I wouldn't underestimate it, Rhys, these days, the old simulators.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen drivers come straight off a simulator with no prior experience go on a circuit be very fast, and I've seen it completely the other side as well, where they've been meg on a sim and they get on a circuit and it just doesn't work out, So there's no real rule of thumb with it, but it's obviously an evaluation obviously of everything, and obviously the last part of probably the most important part obviously is the driving. So we've got our instructors on the day. We got Max Coates obviously, who's been worked alongside myself to put the scholarship together for the past 2 years, and then we try to keep it in house now with the Dragons. We've got our own instructors, so they'll all be there on the day and on the day of the process. But to give you more of a depth of it from my point of view, it's finding someone that could sit alongside myself and ultimately win the championship again, and that is all his scholarship is about. There's no kind of hidden agenda, or it's a manufactured scholarship. It's paid for by myself. It's fully funded. There's no kind of gimmicks with it. It is what it is. The nice thing with this year is what we've done in addition is we've also given the 7 rounds of the Britcar Trophy as part of your prize. But ultimately, we're also giving the winner a test in a TCR car at the end of the season. So that's like a nice little progression. And we're also doing the last round of the Spanish Endurance Series in the Renault Clio. They've actually got a really strong Renault Clio class over in Spain, believe it or not. So we're going to go and do the last round in Barcelona. So again, I feel, yes, it's about a scholarship and giving someone a chance to do a season's racing, but also at the end of the year, you get a chance to drive a TCR car and ultimately a chance to drive in Europe in a Clio. So hopefully that, as a package, as a driver, I think that's a pretty mega package personally.
I think, Rhys, it's quite remarkable. And of course, I know the Britcar Trophy Championship very well. I'm up and down. Let's have a look at a picture, actually. It's the picture that's in the background, but I've merged a few together because there is Jack Meakin. You can see him next to you there. And you guys champions, aren't you? 2023 Britcar Trophy champions. So this isn't just, just come along and drive a car. This is, if you're serious about racing, this could be a major stepping stone, couldn't it? Especially with that test at TCR. I mean, there's the Renault Clios there up at Snetterton, and there's you and Jack with your back to us there. And this is a serious thing, isn't it? If you are a serious racer, this could be a huge stepping stone in your career.
Definitely. I mean, my background, obviously, I'm a little bit older than Jack, obviously, only a couple of years, obviously. But I like to think I bring the wisdom. I bring the wisdom. I bring the wisdom and experience, and the likes of Jack, or the next scholarship winner, obviously does bring that maybe ultimate pace you need in a quali, or hunting down in a race. But I feel like I can offer a lot, and I think that's what worked really well this year. I could kind of calm a situation down with Jack sometimes, and then sometimes you tell Jack, look, just go and hunt them down, and he go and hunt them down. And ultimately, again, that's what we're trying to find this year. Something they've got to work alongside myself for the year and the team. So that's very important to us in terms of we need to find someone that we can work with closely. We're looking for someone who's not afraid to, be part of a team, and it's a very much a team ethos. Sometimes not all about, sometimes you've got to sit on the sidelines. Sometimes you've got to drive, and so it's knowing who's best to go in the car, what situation sometimes. And that's a big part of it as well with endurance, But I mean, to be fair, last year was a text, as a textbook year, from a scholarship to the end of the year, it's exactly what we failed to do,
I have to say, actually, Rhys, I'm a big fan of endurance racing as well, as you know. And like you said, a lot of it is tactical, isn't it? Because you've got in the Britcar Trophy, I mean, the race times vary, don't they? But quite often they're about 2 hours or so, can't they? They can be 2 hours. And it all comes down to strategy at times. And it's not necessarily a case. I speak to a lot of the teams. I speak to all the teams. And some teams, they have a strategy. You do first hour, do second hour. However, as we know, as soon as the pit window opens, if the safety car suddenly comes out, you then have to make a call on, are we here to win? Or are we here to just, well, you've paid money, so, go, we'll just have it. And you are here to win, aren't you? This is going into a championship winning team. And this is, I can't stress enough, this isn't just a jolly up. I mean, what an incredible prize. A major stepping stone in your career. Not only do you get the races in the Britcar Trophy, which is a big championship, isn't it? Yeah. This is a big, big championship. And I'm up and down the paddock as well. I know how big it is. Run by Claire and the team. Of course, they have the Britcar, the Endurance Championship, the British Endurance Championship on the Saturday. And quite often then we'll have the Britcar Trophy on the Sunday. 2 races often as well, isn't it? Quite often it's 2 50-minute races as well, isn't it, Britcar Trophy? Sometimes it's 2 hours. So you get a real mix of it, don't you, as well? Yeah. So it's a test. It's a challenge. It's about strategy. It is about fitness. A 15-minute race is one thing. But if you're going to be in the car for 40 minutes or so, wandering around Snetterton, you've got to be on it, haven't you?
I think the biggest thing that I always take from it is it's a very different to sprint racing. So drivers that come from a sprint racing background, they will be quick in this series, definitely. But there's so much more to it than a sprint race. And I think that is what is the difficult thing at the start, is dialing that out to people. So, over an hour race or a 2 hour race, as you say, it's, track limits in a 50-minute race, you can pick up track limit penalty easily. On a 2 hour race, I mean, you could pick up multiple track limits. It's pit lane, you're changing, regulations with pit lane speed, not crossing over white lines, your team complying with pit lane, not too many people on the car. There's so many other aspects involved with it, Listening to radio calls. I mean, radio calls to pit, not having somebody on the radio saying, oh, I'm not pitting now. We can see the bigger picture outside the car. If we need you to pit now, you need to pit now. And actually, when you actually get engrossed into that, it's a far better sport. I'll be honest, the endurance to a sprint, personally, that's my personal opinion, but it's just such more of a team aspect and a team ethos, and everyone's kind of working together for the same prize, really.
Yeah, and I must say as well, you're right about getting things right in the pits, because that's a race in itself. The amount of times I was at the end of the pit lane because it was penalties. Yeah. And more often than not, it's cars leaving the pit lane too early, because there's a certain amount of time you have to be stationary for. Yeah. And the amount of times that teams tried to just get it bang on, didn't. And it costs so much, because you have to then come serve the time penalty that you're over by. So even if you're only over by 3 seconds, the time you lose coming into the pits to stop for 3 seconds and go again it's race crippling, isn't it?
Yeah, and the problem is, it's like the class that you would go into with this is a Clio Cup class, and in the trophy, it's probably one of the closest classes you're going to get. So you have to roll the dice in terms of attacking the pit lane speed limit to get down to speed at the right time, and you have to attack be as aggressive as you can in the pit speed, because if you're going to 3-4 seconds over the time of the pit lane time, that trying to get 4 seconds back on a circuit it takes a long bloody time, so it's such a fine line of, and as you say, you go a little bit under and it kills your race, kills your weekend, or not your race. I mean, it just kills the whole weekend. So it's fascinating. It is, it's a dynamic of working with two drivers, a team, and also we've got the great with the Dragons, but obviously we've got multiple cars as well. So something we've got to work together a little bit as well, and that's another aspect which can have its own challenges and rewards as well.
Well, you mentioned the Clio class there. I know it very well, of course. It is probably one of the most competitive, isn't it, Rhys?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I was talking to Max the other day, and as he said, it's the only class really that they're all single make, they're all similar, they're all a lot of the other classes are different makes and different models of cars in the same class. But ultimately, the Clio, they basically picked up all the Clio Cup cars and gone, that series is finished. You're now in this, and they're all sealed, they're all the same. And to be fair, that's what you want in a race. You want it to be tight. You want it to be close, because that's what we're all here for. We all want to race. We all want to win, but we don't want to win easy. We all want to win probably the toughest class if possible. And I think that at the end of the year, then you look back and you go, bloody hell, that was a hell of a scrap.
So, Ray, somebody watching this right now, who is the ideal person to take part in this scholarship? It's not going to be a me, is it? Like a complete rookie, I imagine. Is it going to have to be somebody who's maybe done a bit of racing, got a bit of experience, but ready to now take the next step? You tell me.
I've got the answer. It's a Jack Meakin cardboard cutout.
He's a good lad, he's Jack.
That's what we need. I've contemplated entering Jack Meakin cardboard cutout for the scholarship to see if he can get through. But I mean, all jokes aside, it's like you've got to be fast. Obviously, being quick is obviously a very part of it. I would say we're looking for consistency, team player, and someone. I mean, the fitness is important. Don't get me wrong. The media obviously is important, but team play is probably the biggest part of it. We're not looking for, we're giving an opportunity to anyone. So don't think because you haven't won a championship or we haven't heard of you or something like that. I mean, someone said to me, you're looking for the fastest person we've never heard of, possibly. I mean, that's a good line to kind of come out of it. That's someone said the other day. Yeah. You think of a friend, of someone the fastest person that we may never heard of, come along. There's no prejudgment. Ultimately, the prize is to win the championship. And for me, the only important part is that we put the right person in the car. So regardless of whether you're racing, not racing this year, whether you've got no money, lots of money, there's no judgment. The season's funded. There's no stress in that point of view. So we just want that person to do the best job for us for the next 12 months. And that is it in a nutshell, really.
Yeah, very well said. And of course, a full season funded in the Britcar Trophy Championship. I'll tell you something, that would normally set you back a pretty penny. So this is well worth giving a go, isn't it? Right, Rhys, how do we enter? Because entries close. You can see it on the screen now. Entries close next Friday, don't they? The 2nd of February. Do we just go to the website?
Yes, we've got a busy few weeks. So obviously 2 weeks Friday, obviously the scholarship, it takes place at Blyton. So it's all on one day. So you're only going to need to be there for one day. It's a one-day shootout. Entries do close on the 2nd. Head to our website. There's a form to fill in and you can enter online on the scholarship there. Then we'll be looking forward to see you then in Blyton on the 9th.
There you go. It is that simple. If you are interested, don't wait, because next Friday, the 2nd of February, that's when entries close. Now, to make your life even easier, we've done you a bit of a favour. There's a couple of ways you can access that Dragon Sport site. You can just type it out if you like. But that's a little bit old-fashioned, isn't it? There's a QR code just above Rhys's head. Give that a scan on your phone, and it will take you straight through. Just scan. Well, just up a little bit to the left. Then scan that. It will take you straight through to the Dragon Sport website where you can sign up to that scholarship. Wherever you're watching this as well, we're live, of course, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. There's also a link to the website as well. So if you don't want to scan it, you don't want to type it out, just click that link. It will take you straight to that address and you can sign up for the scholarship. It could be you next season. Well, this season, this season coming out. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's like 2 months away. We'll be 2 months away. We'll be getting close. Well, I think it is 2 weeks, actually. 2 months this weekend. We'll be starting.
It is.
Yeah.
So there's Jack Meakin there next to Rhys, but that could be you. That could be you with that rather nice trophy come the end of the season. It's such a wonderful prize. Do take part. Give it a go. I can't stress it enough. If you are serious about becoming a race driver, you already are a serious race driver, but you need to take that next step in your career. This is the way to do it. The Britcar Trophy Championship, I know from experience, I do the pit lane reporting. It's a massive championship. Not only that, you then get a run out in a TCR car at the end of the season as well. So this is a major stepping stone if you are looking at becoming potentially even a professional race driver. So, Rhys, thank you so much. You're a busy man today. I'm going to let you crack on as well. Thank you so much for coming on and taking the time out to explain more about that. Don't forget, everybody, head over to dragonsport.co.uk. There's the website. Scan the QR code, click the link, get yourself entered. Everything we've said is in the website too as well, isn't it? So if you just want to double check and have a read of the T's and C's and bits and bobs, do go over to the website. And I will see you. If you win, you will be seeing my face, unfortunately, with a microphone. And I will be interviewing you because I do always make a beeline for Rhys. So I will be coming down to the garages to see you. So good luck, everybody. Take care. And we'll see you at Blyton Park on the 9th. Rhys, thank you.